So in this video, you're going to be learning how to divide fractions. When you divide fractions, you must know how to multiply fractions, because in order to divide fractions, you have to flip the second fraction and then multiply. And again, when you're talking about mixed numbers, you must turn them improper first. So you cannot multiply or divide mixed numbers as mixed numbers. You must convert them into improper fractions. So remember, when with fractions you divide, flip the second and multiply. So this is a basic division of fractions problem. You're going to keep the first fraction the same. You're going to change the division sign to a multiplication sign, and you're going to take the reciprocal of 1/3, also known as the multiplicative inverse. So when you are flipping, you are multiplying by the multiplicative inverse. The multiplicative inverse is the number that you multiply 1/3 by to get 1. So if I have 1/3 and I find its multiplicative inverse, which means I basically take the reciprocal, a number and its multiplicative inverse will always equal 1. Right? If you multiply it, 3/3, that equals 1. So I take the first fraction, I flip the symbol to a multiplication sign, and then I'm going to take the multiplicative inverse, or the reciprocal, same thing, of the second fraction. At this point, I don't care so much about the division problem anymore, because I'm focusing on the multiplication problem. I've changed my division problem to a multiplication problem, and now it's just like the multiplication problems you saw in your video. Right here, you could either do top times top, bottom times bottom, and then reduce. So you could say 6 goes into 15 twice with 3 left over, which is also 2 1/2. Or you could say, I'm going to cross cancel. Right, and 5 times 1 is 5, 2 times 1 is 2, and again, that still equals 2 1/2. So your most important steps is to flip or take the multiplicative inverse to make sure you multiply. It becomes a little different when you have mixed numbers, because with a mixed number you must first convert it to improper fractions. So 1 times 3 is 3 plus 2 is 5. So I'm going to rewrite the problem using fractions instead of mixed numbers. Now I keep the first, I change the second symbol to a multiplication, and I flip or take the multiplicative inverse of the second fraction. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and cross cancel because it's a multiplication problem. I cannot cross cancel unless it's a multiplication problem. I am not allowed to cross cancel when I see a division sign. I have to wait until I've changed the division problem into a multiplication problem before I can cross cancel. So in this case, it was a multiplication problem. I cross canceled. 1 times 8 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 goes into 8 twice with 2 left over. So my answer is 2 2/3. Again, another division problem. I'm going to go ahead and turn them both into improper fractions. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. I'm going to change the division problem to a multiplication problem. 1 times 8 is 8, plus 1 is 9, so that's 9/8. I'm going to take the multiplicative inverse and make it 8/9. I probably should have done that in 2 steps. I probably should have rewrote the problem as 7/2, divided by 9/8, and then kept, changed, and flipped. So now I'm at this point, and I can cross cancel. Right, I have 7/2 times 8/9. I can cross cancel. Can divide both by 2. So now 7 times 2 is 28, and 1 times 9 is 9. 9 goes into 28 3 times with 1 left over. So I don't know if you caught it, but in that example, when I was doing the Doodlecast example, I said 7 times 2 is 28, but the numerators were 7 and 4, so I just misspoke the 4 as a 2. The problem is correctly done, it's just my voice in one piece says 7 times 2, and it should have been 7 times 4. It's a really ugly looking division problem. Ladies and gentlemen, this is called a complex fraction. We know it's a complex fraction because it's a fraction bar, and another fraction. So basically it's a fraction divided by a fraction, but it's in the form where you have a division bar. Fine. It just looks crazy. I'm going to rewrite it so it doesn't look so crazy, so it looks like the other 3 problems that we've done. So 4 1/2 is the numerator, so that comes first. The division bar means a division symbol, and then 2 1/3 comes second. this funky looking thing is the same as writing it linearly, 4.5 divided by 2 1/3. Now, when I have it like this, or like this, I could do it like this if I want. I'm going to go ahead and change them into improper fractions, so that would be 9 halves. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Divided by 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Now I'm going to keep, change, flip. Oh darn, I can't cross cancel. Okay, so I'm going to do 9 times 3 is 27. And 2 times 7 is 14. 14 goes into 27 only one time, but there are 13 left over, so your final answer is 1 13/14.